Topping the news this Monday, the Ministry of National Security implemented its COVID-19 contingency plan just 2 days after the first confirmed case was recorded in the Bahamas back in March. And since then, the virus has truly made an impact on national law enforcement operations as well as law enforcement staff. National Security Minister, the Honorable Marvin Dames, listed those numbers today, as we hear in our top story tonight from Amajal Knowles.
COVID-19 has impacted every sector of the country, and law enforcement was certainly no exception. National Security Minister, the Honorable Marvin Dames, addressed the country during a virtual press conference Monday, outlining the numbers that shows the true impact COVID-19 has had on his ministry.
At least 6,050 persons, or 86% of my ministries, consist of law enforcement officers. Out of this number, it should be noted that there has been to date one person who would have died as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that represents 0.01% of our total law enforcement complement. There were 354 positive cases, which reflect 6% of the total law enforcement complement, and 697 persons were quarantined, which reflects 11% of the total complement.
Also addressing the country was Commissioner of Police Paul Rolle and Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defence Force Commander Raymond King. Now, as the numbers shown between police and defence force, there were roughly 360 positive cases and nearly 700 officers quarantined between them. Both law enforcement leaders addressed how the shortage in power affected their respective agencies.
The impact of that did not really hamper our efforts significantly. We have a pretty large force and a workforce, so in terms of our daily operations, we were still able to conduct our operations efficiently.
But those numbers speak for itself, because when you have an explosion on board a vessel with a crew of about 50 plus persons, that increases the numbers exponentially. And when those persons are quarantined, you really quarantine in one vessel. And so you still have a number of other vessels to continue the mission. But we've been resilient. Thank you.
Now, the Department of Corrections report also being given at today's virtual press conference, with Minister Dames revealing that of the over 700 staff complement, only 29 tested positive for the virus. The prison population of over 1,400 only saw 2 such cases. While the number of positive staff may seem lower than other agencies, the effect is still being felt, as Mr. Dames revealing that the Commissioner of the Bahamas Correctional Services, Charles Murphy, recently tested positive for the coronavirus.
Apologize to the Bahamas for the absence of the Commissioner of Corrections, who unfortunately was contact traced last week on a matter not related to the prison. And he immediately went to get tested and got his results back today. I spoke to him. He is positive, unfortunately, but asymptomatic. He is in good spirits. We spoke at length, and so we continue to pray for he and his family at this time.
For ZNS Network News, I'm Amajal Knowles.